Goodbye, goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right, folks. So here we are in the end of our agricultural season, right? The growing season in this area is something like March till November. And then it's too cold and it's too wet and it's too snowy for us to do much growing. But there are cycles even within our growing season, right? In the spring, early spring, there's really a cycle before summer, March to June, where you can plant a certain kind of crops. Then we have the main season, June to August, where we can grow our tomatoes and our melons and our big fruiting crops. And then we have the last half of the season, which is where we are right now, which is the late August till early November part, and people refer to this part as the fall crop. So even within one agricultural season, which is half a year or so, we have different cycles, different periods of time within that season. Now, the Jewish calendar has a number of new years. The one that you're probably most familiar with, which is coming up, is Rosh Hashanah, right? And Rosh Hashanah this year is in late September. And Rosh Hashanah literally means the head Hashanah of the year, the head of the year. And it's a bit strange that the head of the year comes in late September, right? It's a bit strange. Now, it used to be in biblical times that the new year was in the spring. Because that's when new life comes, right? Both agriculturally and animals who, time their offspring so that they're born in the spring, so that they're not born in the cold of the winter. So right now we are in the last month of the Hebrew calendar. And the last month is called, does anyone know? Elul. Elul, exactly, yeah. Elul. And so, because Rosh Hashanah is associated with a new year and newness, and also with a certain amount of inner reflection, right? There's a lot of emphasis on the word teshuvah, which is often translated as repentance, and being the best version of yourself. And so what does that take? And it often takes a certain amount of reflection on who we are. How do we interact with the people around us? How are we respectful to our children and our parents and our peers? Are we acting with loving kindness towards each other, and so forth? Elul becomes a time of reflection. So would someone read the first paragraph here on your paper? And this is another way of saying what Elul is about.
I can read it.
Thank you.
Elul is a time of introspection and intimacy. It comes at a time when we sit quietly with our friends and family on the front porch, at the park, on the beach, watching nature, enjoying, loving, and being loved. Elul comes at a quiet time of the year, when the heavy work of the summer is ending. The days are long, with almost twice as much daylight as the winter time. Time itself seems to stretch out before us, inviting us to slow down, reflect, dream, enjoy. And yet, it is also a time when the daylight hours are waning. So when Elul encourages dreaming, it also possesses a slight air of urgency. There is time to pause and dream, it is telling us. But that time does not last forever. Soon it will be time to return to work and see indeed if we can achieve our dreams.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you. Any thoughts or comments on this?
It's so beautiful. I'm crying.
It's
beautiful.
Oh, wait till you come to services, Teal. Yeah.
So I very much see this group as being in Elul with our garden. Right? We started off today with some reflection of how the summer has gone and what lessons have we learned. But our work is not done. We have a fall crop to plant, and we're going to plant, and the Jewish calendar, that crop is being planted in the last month of the year. We're planting seeds in the last month, and we're hopefully going to reap the benefits of those in the new year. But it takes work now. So this message about there's time to pause and dream, but there's also an urgency to our actions in this month. That is, in my opinion, the theme of the work that we're doing together today and also when we plant on Monday. And so what I wanted to do for today is have a kind of a guided reflection on our past year and moving into the new year. And the way that we're going to do that is through the symbolism of the traditional foods that are eaten on Rosh Hashanah. So there are two main streams of Judaism that have developed based on geographic identity. One is called Ashkenazi, and those are Jews who are typically from Eastern Europe and Russia. And then there is another stream called Sephardi, from the Hebrew word Sfarad, which means Spain. So Western Europe, Spain, South America, North Africa, those are Sephardi Jews. And Judaism evolved in different ways in those two areas of the world. And one of the most fascinating ways, the differences between those two kinds of Judaism has to do with the food traditions that emerged, right? Because what grows in Poland and what grows in Morocco, these are different climates. So I think that we'll be more familiar with the Ashkenazi food traditions because I think if many of us were to trace our lineage, it does go back to Eastern Europe. My family is from Lithuania, Latvia, Poland, Ukraine. Yep. And do people have similar stories?
Mine's Romanian.
From where?
Romania.
Romania,
Now,
Eastern Europe as well?
Russian.
That's closer to a warmer climate.
That's true. And it would be interesting to learn if Romania experienced any of the synthesis of these traditions. And so could someone read for us what the Ashkenazi food traditions are?
The Ashkenazi traditions are apples and honey, around challah, a head of a fish. I always wondered why the fish head was in the pot with the fish, and a pomegranate, because it's got 613
Right. So there's reasons for each of these foods. There are traditional reasons. Apples and honey, they're sweet, round challah, round, a calendar, while it might look linear, is really circular, right? We every year return to the same point of the year, and we go round and round the sun, right? A head of a fish, because it's the new year, so a head of the fish symbolizes the beginning, the newness of the year, and the pomegranate, because of the seeds, the first command in the Bible is be fruitful and multiply, and the pomegranate with its 600 plus seeds represents that. Now, what we're doing today is we're actually going to use some new interpretations that I came up with for some of these foods and use the interpretations of those foods to guide our reflections. But first, let's hear what they do on the southern hemisphere, the Sephardi tradition. So would someone read that, please?
Sephardi traditions in the Talmud, Tractate, Karatat Ga. We read
6a.
6a.
Huh?
6a. It's not a J.
It's just a chapter title.
Oh, 6a. Okay. We read the following. Said, is it Abaye?
Abaye.
Abaye. Now that you have said that a sign is considered a matter of importance, a person should habituate himself to eat at the beginning of the year citron, pumpkin, of course I've never heard of that one.
Fenugreek, which is a Moroccan spice.
Beet and dates.
And then the rest are the names in Hebrew.
Okay.
In Hebrew. So, have any of you ever heard of these foods as being eaten on Rosh Hashanah?
No.
You're more familiar with the first list, right?
Absolutely.
So I thought, this is fascinating. Beets and leeks. I mean, these are crops that we can actually grow.